The silent signal. Captain Naira Voss wiped sweat from her brow as the twin suns of Proxima Centauri beat down on her environmental suit. The archaeological expedition had been digging for weeks, following energy signatures that defied explanation. Her team of synorchaeologists from the Galactic Concord had uncovered ruins across 50 worlds, but none as puzzling as these. "Deeper," she commanded, her voice steady despite the excitement building in her chest. The diggers, a mix of organic beings and specialized drones, continued their careful excavation of the crystalline structures beneath the rust-colored soil. "Captain, you need to see this," called Dr. Kellis, her Taurian science officer. 4 arms gestured frantically at his scanner readings, his reptilian eyes blinking rapidly in the harsh light. Naira crossed the dig site, careful not to disturb the delicate patterns they'd uncovered in the ancient foundation. The patterns seemed to pulse with an inner light, responding to their presence in ways that defied scientific explanation. "What is it?" she asked, peering over his shoulder. "Energy readings just spiked by 600%, he replied, mandibles clicking nervously. "And they're still climbing." Before Naira could respond, the ground beneath them trembled. Not violently, but with purpose, as if something long dormant was awakening. The diggers backed away as a section of earth began to rise, soil cascading away to reveal a perfect sphere 2 meters in diameter. Unlike the ruins around it, the sphere showed no sign of age or decay. Its surface gleamed with an iridescent sheen that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. "Is it active?" whispered Naira, approaching cautiously. Dr. Kellis ran his scanner over the sphere. "It appears to be in some kind of standby mode. The energy signature is unlike anything in our databases." For 3 days, they studied the sphere in a hastily established research dome. Linguists attempted to decipher the flowing symbols that occasionally rippled across its surface. Engineers tried to understand its composition. Security officers maintained a vigilant perimeter, mindful of the Concord protocols regarding unknown technology. On the 4th day, Naira made a breakthrough. The patterns weren't random. They responded to specific sequences of light and sound. Working through the night, she mapped the responses, finding a pattern that seemed to trigger a more sustained reaction. "I think I found something," she announced to her bleary-eyed team as dawn broke. "Watch this." She projected a specific sequence of light pulses while simultaneously broadcasting a harmonic frequency. The sphere hummed in response, its surface shifting from iridescent to translucent. Then, without warning, it rose a meter off the examination table and emitted a blinding beam of energy straight up through the dome's ceiling. The beam shot into space, precisely aimed at a specific point in the galaxy. "It's a beacon," Naira whispered, watching the energy stream continue unabated. "But what is it signaling? And to whom?" The beam pointed directly toward the region of space known as the Void Sector, a vast expanse that had remained silent and seemingly empty for as long as the Galactic Concord had existed. Ancient records spoke of signals once received from that region, but nothing had been detected for over 5 millennia. The Concord High Command responded to Naira's emergency transmission within hours. Within days, the site was swarming with military personnel and scientific specialists from dozens of species. The beacon continued its silent work, the energy beam unchanging in its intensity or direction. On the 7th day after activation, something unprecedented happened. A response came from the Void Sector. The message was simple, transmitted in perfect galactic standard. "We hear you. We have always been listening. Humanity acknowledges your signal. Prepare for contact." The command center fell silent. Humanity, the legendary species that many believed was merely a myth, stories told to younglings about the mysterious precursors who had vanished from the galactic stage before the Concord was even formed. Others thought they had gone extinct in some catastrophic event. But apparently, they had been there all along, hidden in the Void Sector, listening. Why would an entire species hide for 5,000 years? Dr. Kellis asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Admiral Vex, the Concord military commander who had arrived to oversee the situation, narrowed her compound eyes. The better question is, why have they chosen now to reveal themselves? 3 days later, sensors throughout the system detected the arrival of a massive vessel, unlike anything in Concord records. It appeared without warning, seemingly materializing out of nothing, bypassing all detection arrays. The ship was elegant yet formidable, smooth obsidian surfaces interrupted by lines of brilliant blue energy that pulsed like veins. It dwarfed the largest Concord cruiser in orbit, yet moved with impossible grace for something of its size. A transmission reached every communication device simultaneously. This is the Earth vessel Remembrance. We come in peace, but prepared for all contingencies. We request a delegation to meet with representatives of your galactic Concord. Humanity is ready to rejoin the galaxy. Within hours, the Concord Council authorized a diplomatic mission. They selected their finest ambassadors, scientists, and a small security detail. Captain Naira Voss was included due to her discovery of the beacon. The delegation prepared to board the Stellar Harmony, a vessel specifically designed for first contact scenarios. As Naira packed her few belongings, Admiral Vex approached her private quarters. Captain Voss, the Admiral began, her usually stern demeanor replaced with something approaching concern. There's something you should know before you depart. Mom, the oldest records in the Concord archives, the ones that predate our formal founding, they speak of humanity. The Admiral's voice dropped lower. They call them the guardians who left us vulnerable. Naira felt a chill run down her spine. What does that mean? I don't know. Those records are fragmented, damaged, but be careful, Captain. 5,000 years is a long time to hide. Whatever drove humanity into the shadows might still be out there. And now, they've decided we need to know about it. As the Stellar Harmony departed to rendezvous with the human vessel, Naira stared out at the stars, wondering what ancient secrets they were about to uncover, and what it would mean for the galaxy they all called home. The Awakening. The Stellar Harmony approached the massive human vessel with caution. Up close, the Remembrance was even more impressive and unsettling. Its hull seemed to absorb scanning beams rather than reflect them, and occasional ripples passed across its surface as if the ship itself were breathing. "We're being hailed," announced the communications officer, a Meridian whose translucent skin pulsed with nervous energy. A human face appeared on the main view screen. The being appeared similar to several humanoid species in the Concord, but with subtle differences that marked them as unique. Their eyes held a depth that suggested centuries of experience, despite their seemingly youthful appearance. "I am Commander Elias Chen of Earth's Sentinel Fleet. Welcome, representatives of the Galactic Concord. We are prepared to receive your delegation." The docking procedure was flawless, suggesting the humans had extensive knowledge of Concord protocols. As Naira and the delegation crossed the airlock threshold, they entered a corridor that seemed to be constructed of material that shifted between solid and translucent. The air carried a faint scent of ozone and something organic that Naira couldn't identify. Commander Chen greeted them personally, performing the diverse cultural rituals of each species with perfect precision. He was tall by most humanoid standards, with dark hair showing strands of silver and eyes that seemed to change color depending on the angle of light. "How do you know our customs so well?" asked Ambassador Krell, a Valerian whose crystalline exoskeleton chimed softly as he moved. Chen smiled, but the expression didn't reach his eyes. "We've been watching, learning, preparing." "Preparing for what?" Naira asked, unable to contain her curiosity. "You'll understand soon enough, Captain Voss," he replied, somehow knowing her name and rank without introduction. "But first, let us show you Earth." They were escorted to an observation deck with a transparent ceiling that revealed a stunning sight. Earth was not the primitive homeworld many had speculated about in academic circles. The planet was encircled by massive orbital structures. Some appeared to be habitation rings, others were clearly military installations. The surface below showed continents that matched no historical record of Earth, with sprawling cities that glowed with energy even on the daylight side. 12 trillion humans in this system alone, Commander Chen said, noting their astonishment. We have established ourselves in 27 systems within the void sector. Impossible, whispered Dr. Kellis. No species could develop so extensively while remaining hidden. We found ways, Chen replied simply. We had to. Your world has changed, Naira observed, comparing the planet below to ancient descriptions in historical texts. The continents are different. Everything changes when survival demands it. Chen's voice hardened. We remade our world, moved continents, built shields that could hide our energy signatures, developed technologies that allow us to exist outside normal detection parameters. Why? Asked Naira. Why would an entire civilization disappear from the galaxy? Chen was silent for a moment. Follow me. It's time you learned the truth. They were led through corridors that seemed to reconfigure themselves as they walked, eventually arriving at a vast chamber deep within the ship. The room was dominated by a spherical holographic display that showed the entire galaxy in perfect detail. 5,000 years ago, Chen began. Humanity was young, eager, expanding rapidly through the stars. We made contact with dozens of species, established trade routes, cultural exchanges, scientific collaborations. We were naive. He gestured, and the galactic display zoomed in on a region of space far from Earth. Then we encountered what we came to call the harvesters. The hologram shifted to show recordings of massive biomechanical entities moving through space. They were unlike anything in Concord records, part living organism, part machine, with structures that seemed to fold in on themselves in ways that defied normal spatial dimensions. The harvesters don't invade or conquer, Chen continued. They consume. Entire worlds, entire species, absorbed into their collective. Their technology, their knowledge, their very essence, all taken and incorporated. The recording showed entire planets being enveloped by structures that emerged from the harvester vessels, the surfaces of worlds transforming as they were systematically broken down and absorbed. We fought, Chen said, his voice flat. We lost badly. But in the process, we discovered something critical. The display changed to show complex data patterns and timelines. The harvesters follow a cycle. They emerge every 5,000 years, consume what they can, then return to dormancy in the spaces between galaxies. They've been doing this for millions of years. Ambassador Krell's crystalline form vibrated with tension. If this is true, why have we never heard of them? Why is there no record in any Concord archive? Because they leave no witnesses, Chen replied. No survivors to warn the next cycle. Except us. How did you survive? Naira asked. We ran. We hid. Then we made a choice that damned us in the eyes of history. The hologram showed Earth as it once was, then its gradual transformation as humanity built massive underground cities, then orbital habitats, then literally moved continents to reshape their world's energy signature. We erased all evidence of our existence from the galaxy. We developed technologies that kept us hidden from both conventional detection and from the harvester's senses. We became ghosts, watching from the shadows as new civilizations arose, as your Concord formed and flourished in our absence. And you did nothing to warn us? Dr. Kellis asked, mandibles clicking in agitation. Would you have believed us? Chen countered. Without evidence? With nothing but the word of a species you'd never met? Or would you have exposed us, and yourselves, to the attention of the harvesters before we were ready? Naira studied the timelines displayed in the hologram. According to this data, the harvesters are due to return. Within months, Chen finished. That's why we broke our silence when you activated the beacon. Our time has almost up. The delegation exchanged alarmed glances as understanding dawned. You want our help, Naira realized. After all this preparation, you still need allies. Chen nodded. Our most advanced simulations give us a 38% chance of victory alone. With the galactic Concord fighting alongside us, those odds improve significantly. You expect us to believe this? Scoffed the Taurian security chief. A monster that eats civilizations, conveniently appearing just as you decide to reveal yourselves. In response, Chen activated another display. It showed recordings of border conflicts from the past century, incidents the Concord had dismissed as pirate activity or territorial disputes between minor powers. These weren't normal conflicts, Chen said. They were harvester scouts, testing defenses, gathering information. The cycle has already begun. As they watched the footage, a junior officer entered the chamber and whispered something to Chen. His face hardened. "It's happening," he said. 3 border worlds in the Epsilon sector just went silent. All communication ceased simultaneously. The news spread panic among some delegation members, while others remained skeptical. "We need proof," insisted the Taurian security chief. "Real proof, not just convenient coincidences." "I understand your skepticism," Chen replied. "It's why we prepared for this moment. Follow me." He led them to a secure transportation bay where a sleek shuttle awaited. "We're going to show you what humanity has been building for 5 millennia." The shuttle departed the Remembrance, but instead of heading toward Earth, it accelerated away from the planet at impossible speed. The stars blurred around them as the vessel entered a form of faster-than-light travel unlike any Concord technology. Minutes later, they emerged in a star system that appeared on no Concord chart. At its center was not a natural star, but a massive artificial construct that pulsed with controlled energy. Surrounding this artificial sun was the largest fleet any of them had ever witnessed. Millions of vessels of various sizes and designs, all bearing the same obsidian and blue energy signature as the Remembrance. "This is the Sentinel Fleet," Chen explained. "One of 27 such fleets we've constructed. The smallest part of our preparation." The shuttle continued past the fleet, approaching what at first appeared to be a small moon. As they drew closer, Naira realized it was an artificial structure of impossible scale. "This is the Bulwark," Chen said. "A mobile defensive platform capable of shielding entire star systems. We have 12 of them." For hours, they toured humanity's hidden preparations, weapons platforms that could harness the energy of dying stars, quantum communication networks that operated outside normal space, training facilities where every human from childhood prepared for the coming conflict. "Your entire civilization," Ambassador Krell observed in awe. "It's all been designed for this moment." "For survival," Chen corrected. "The harvesters don't leave survivors. We intend to be the exception, and to ensure the galaxy continues after their passing." As they debated the evidence, an alarm sounded throughout the facility. Officers rushed to stations as displays activated, showing real-time footage from the border worlds that had gone silent. Strange vessels moved through the debris of destroyed orbital platforms. They were partly mechanical, partly biological, exactly matching the ancient recordings of the harvesters. "This footage is being transmitted now," Chen said grimly. "The Vanguard forces have arrived earlier than we predicted." The chamber fell silent as they watched the methodical destruction unfold. "We've spent 5,000 years preparing for this moment," Chen said, turning to face the delegation. "Now we must decide. Does humanity stand alone against the darkness, or will the galaxy finally unite to face its greatest threat?" Naira stepped forward, her decision made. "The Concord needs to know. All of it." Chen nodded, a hint of relief crossing his features. "Then we have much to do, and very little time. The harvesters have awakened, and this time, we will not hide." As they prepared to return to the stellar harmony with their urgent message, Naira gazed out at humanity's vast preparations. 5,000 years of silence, of watching and waiting in the shadows, all leading to this moment. The galaxy was about to change forever. The age of silence was over.